Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this European athletics coverage of the pole vault only meet, Perch'Xtrem, here in France. I'm Holly Bradshaw, and I'll be taking you through this amazing pole vault action that we have in store for you tonight. It is an action-packed 2 hours full of world, Olympic, European medalists, not to be missed. This competition tonight truly is one of a kind. Once the lights come on, you'll be able to see that it's super unique. I've never seen this before in my career. The tracks actually cross, so the men and women tonight will be running individually down each track, but they will cross in the middle. We're going to see some introductions in a moment, but let me just take you through some highlights that we could end up seeing tonight. So we're running through the athletes in the field now, and this is Louise Poulant of France with a PB of 4.35 meters. From America, we have in great form at the minute with a season's best just set in the Reno pole vault simmer of 5.75, Jacob Wooten. Over from Italy with a season's best of 4.40, only 5 centimetres away from a personal best, so clearly in good form, is Virginia Scardanzen. There's a lot of Frenchmen in this field tonight. The French really do host some of the world's best pole vaulters, and this one was a combined eventer turned to pole vault. Baptiste Thierry, PB and season's best of 5.75, so clearly in amazing form. On the women's side, another French lady, Elise Roos, with a season's best of 4.31, a PB of 4.40. Fresh off the back of an amazing 2024 is Ersu Sasma of Turkey. He won a bronze medal at the European Outdoors in Rome, a personal best of 5.90 meters. This is his first competition of the season, so he doesn't actually have a season's best recorded. All the way over from New Zealand with a season's best of 4.55 is Imogen Aries, Commonwealth bronze medalist at Birmingham in 2022. Olympic finalist in Paris last year. Clearly in really good form. Another world-class male athlete with a PB 5.96, sorry, is Menno Bloem of the Netherlands. Joining the women's lineup is Alex Dehanian, European finalist in Rome last year, another French athlete to add to this field. PB of 4.53. One of the best French pole vaulters of recent years is Thibaut Collet. So close to that 6 metre barrier, getting that personal best of 5.95 meters last year. So close, a great year. Went to those Paris Olympics in front of a home crowd, which was fantastic. Another athlete from Italy, we have Roberta Bruni, personal best of 4.73. She's already competed a couple of times here in France this year. World University Student Games champion back in 2019. Joining the men's field, Christopher Nielsen, one of the 3 men with a PB over 6 meters in this field, Tokyo silver medalist. One of the crowd favourites, MG Bongwin, PB of 4.70. Really, over the last couple of years, sprung onto the scene with that amazing PB of 4.70. Also made the Olympic final in Paris on home turf last year. Now this guy, Emmanuel Corrales, what a year he had last year. broke that 6-metre barrier, something that all pole vault men aspire to do. Picked up that bronze medal at the Olympic Games in Paris. World indoor silver medalist, bronze medalist, and European silver medalist behind Mondo Duplantis. Another athlete in fine form in 2024 is Angelica Moser. PB of 4 metres 88, breaking that Swiss record. Fourth, just missing out on a medal in the Paris Olympic Games. Competed so well, clean card up to 418, just missed out on that medal. Now this guy, for all the pole vault fans out there, needs no introduction. One of the best athletes, pole vaulters of all time. That personal best of 6:16. World record before Mondo Duplantis came along. Olympic champion back in 2012, Olympic silver medalist in Rio, 7 world championship medals to his name. He really is one of the greatest pole vaulters of all time. As you can see, those athletes stood on that track, it crosses there in the middle, which is super unique. I've never seen that before. Speaking to Renaud Lavillenie before this meeting, he said, warm-up will be interesting. Now the girls' start bar tonight will be 4 metres and 6.
Retrouvez tous les clubs d'athlétisme sur athlé.fr.
Competition is about to get underway, and the women's opening bar will be 4 metres and 6 centimetres, with the men's opening bar being 5 metres 35. These are the Perch meets. There are multiple around France during the indoor season. The French really know how to put on an indoor tour. The crowd absolutely love pole vault in France. And you'll see 6 or 7 pole vault only meets happening around France called the Perch Tour, and this is one of them. Athletes love this kind of environment to compete in, as you can see. The crowd is so incredibly close. They get to choose their own song to run down the runway to. It's a great atmosphere. It's very small basketball arenas, which makes the sound and the ambience so much better for these athletes. It really gets them going, and we have a real world-class field here today. Highlighting the women's field is Angelica Moser, as we said, 4th in that Paris Olympic Games last year, European outdoor champion in Rome, ranked 3rd in the world last year, behind Olympic champion Nina Kennedy. Over in the men's field, of course, it's absolutely stacked. We've got Olympic champion, multiple world medalist Renaud Lavillenie. We have multiple other world medalists, including that guy on your screen there, Chris Nielsen, 2-time world medalist. Only one guy in the men's field doesn't have a PB above 590. Thierry Baptiste has a PB of 575. Every single man in the field has a PB over 590, which is an incredible standard. these athletes really are drawn to these competitions. Like I said, the atmosphere is electric. It just brings out the best in you. Sometimes as a pole vaulter, when you're in a track and field event with other, track events going on and other field events, you can sometimes feel a bit lost out there in the D, whereas these events really are all about the pole vault. The fans have come to only watch pole vault. It really makes you feel special as an athlete. Here is the start list in the men's pole vault in order of which they will jump. We've got Baptiste, Urzu, Wootton, Vloon, Collet, Nielsen, Lavillenie, and then finally Corellis. And over in the women's, we have Boulant, then Roos, Tehanian, Skardansen, Eris, Bruni, Bonin, and then finally Angelica Moser of Switzerland.
Et Jean-François, tu parlais du premier Français, Simon Bosca, pour homologuer toutes les belles performances que feront nos perchistes ce soir. Eh bien, il faut forcément un jury qualifié, un jury diplômé. Mesdames et messieurs, sont
an interview from Jean Galfion, one of the greatest French pole vaulters of all time, behind Renaud Lavillenie, 6-metre jumper. Jean Galfion. Crowd looks full, the atmosphere is electric. The athletes are waiting patiently for their turn to start jumping.
Bien sûr, extrêmement loin, bien évidemment, eh bien, ils suivent la compétition et ils peuvent voir les records en direct. On voit que tu as passé du temps sur la route pour venir jusqu'ici.
As I can tell from the live scorecard, which you can follow live at home at athleteliveresults.fr. Christopher Nielsen will be the only athlete coming in at the opening bar of 5:35 on the men's side. And over on the women's side, we have Louise Boulant opening at 4:06. Everyone else opting to open slightly higher. For those that don't follow pole vault all too often, the officials set the heights for the competition, and the athletes can choose when they want to come in. They can choose if they want to skip the bars. It's completely up to them as to how confident they feel, how's the warm-up gone, how's the body feeling today. Athletes can feel very different day to day. So the athletes choose themselves which start bar they want to come in at. They can choose to pass any height along the way. They get 3 attempts at every bar before progressing on to the next one.
La première barre proposée aux garçons, au menu des garçons, 5,35 m, plus 15, 5,50. Ensuite, plus 10,
Christopher Nielsen has a PB of 5.80 this indoor season, so he's in great form. Just opting to open that little bit lower. Sometimes athletes feel like they like to open lower and build into the competition, whereas some athletes potentially don't have the same endurance capacity and want to open a little bit higher, save their energy for later on in the bars. It is really a fine balance and a preference for what athletes feel they like.
En effet, les réglages continuent, mais les performances vont monter crescendo tout au long de cette soirée. Et justement, honneur aux dames, on commencera par le concours féminin avec la première barre à 4,06 m. Vous la connaissez bien à la portée.
Emmanuel Corellis won the last Perch meet in Rouen, which was also streamed live on European Athletics.
Représente aussi l'entente athlétique Montville-Hérouville. Un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour cette
Played a world lead
Vous la connaissez.
and won the competition. Here we go, the first competitor is up, and on the runway Boulant is ready to attack the opening bar of 4 metres and 6 centimetres. Her PB is 4 meters 35, but a season's best of 4:16.
La musique va démarrer, vous allez pouvoir taper dans les mains, c'est le premier saut, c'est le premier saut de l'histoire du Perch'Xtrem. Louise Boulon, bout de piste, et à vous de l'accompagner.
Une responsabilité américaine.
Crowd are getting behind her. Very nice clearance. Looked like a little bit of a safe clearance to me. Sometimes the athletes, they've had to wait a long time to do the introductions. They might have finished warm-up a good 30 minutes ago, so that first one is all about getting them back in the groove, getting the legs warmed up, and that was a very solid clearance. It's only 10 centimetres below her season's best, so it's relatively high opening bar for her.
Le premier essai, entré dans la compétition messieurs, l'Américain Chris Nielsen.
Over on the men's, we have Chris Nielsen, the only men attempting 5:35. Very strong, powerful athlete is Chris. Olympic medalist in Tokyo, and very easy. That's what we like to see in an opening bar. A lot of daylight. Very, very, very easy. Chris is the kind of athlete that likes to open low and build through the comp. He's not necessarily capped with how many jumps he can take on a given day. So he likes to get a nice confidence booster, and as you can see here, absolutely miles over the bar. Very, very easy. That'll give him a good amount of confidence. Yeah, very, very easy. Sometimes that first jump of the day can just be a bit of a confidence booster, a bit of an ego stroke. Back over to the women. We have another girl attempting 4:06, Virginia Stalanston of Italy. Her personal best is 4:40. She's having a great indoor season so far. Bit of a shaky opening bar. Although she's Italian, she's based over in the States, and I think now training in Canada with Alicia Newman, the Olympic bronze medalist from Paris. I think she has recently flown over from Canada, so maybe shaking those jet lag cobwebs away. Looked like a very, very strong run. Don't know what happened at takeoff, but looks like she didn't quite hit the pole and believe in it. She stalled in the jump and then just gave that, just coming down on that, and gave that bar a tickle. Very lucky for it to stay on, but okay, the men are now up to 5 meters 50. Looks like everyone will enter the competition at this bar. Baptiste Thierry used to be a decathlete, was very, very good in the pole vault, decided to kind of specialise for a while in this event. Very, very talented. Very nice. 550s is a very decent opening bar for someone with a PB of 575, only 25 centimetres higher, but that was a very easy and convincing opening bar clearance from Thierry. Every year he's improved massively. Wonder whether this season has been no difference. You can see a very nice easy clearance there. Competed in Rouen a couple of weeks ago with that 575 clearance, just slightly coming down on the bar, not so much room on the back end of that bar. He might need to adjust his stance, but it's great. These kind of competitions, you've got your coaches right there, they're filming, they can instantly feedback. It's really important as a pole vaulter. You know, I always say that the athlete can feel and the coach can see, so combined together as a package, it's the perfect package. A coach can really have a big impact on an athlete during a competition. The European bronze medalist in Rome, his first international medal. Wow, very easy clearance. Very, very easy clearance again. This is what we expect to be seeing from these athletes at this stage of the competition. Their opening bar should be easy. Very, very light, fast athlete. Inverts incredibly quick. Gets so much energy off the top end of that jump. Very nice. Very easy. For all these men pretty much to be opening at 5:50, it means they had a good warm-up, they're feeling good. Over in the women's we have first attempt at 4:21 for Louise Boulant. Very nice clearance. Now her season's best is 4:16, so that's a season's best for her by 5 centimetres. Very nice jump. She's really soaking up the crowd, soaking up the atmosphere. That was a very, very easy jump. The bar will go to 4:36 next. And with that kind of jumping technique, I don't see that being an issue for her today. Good speed into the runway, a nice tall takeoff. Very easy clearance. Slightly touches it on the way down. Potentially needs to bring those stands in. The stands, the uprights, let the bar sit on, they can move forwards and backwards, so it's up to this athlete, up to the athletes to decide where they want to have their stands between 0 and 80 centimetres. Next on the runway for her opening bar, it's Jacob Wootton. Not for his first attempt. I know he had a bit of an ankle problem at his last competition, so he's been running in from 12 steps on a shortened approach. You see that strapping on his knee. Yeah, he's still running from 12 steps, which for Jacob is a short run. These athletes get to choose what length step run they run from. Most men will choose between 18 and 20 steps. So for Jacob to be on 12 steps, that is a significantly shortened run up. Obviously carrying some sort of niggle or protecting something. Roos for her first attempt at 4:21. Season's best of 4:31. To be on that time. Wasn't a particularly close attempt, 4:21. Her season's best is only 4:31, so she's coming in 10 centimetres below that, which is not leaving much room for mistakes. But this is why in pole vault athletes are allowed 3 attempts. It's a very technical event, very complicated, lots of variables. You've got the stands, you've got the bar to manoeuvre around, you've got your pole. Menno Bloom for his first attempt at 5:50. He always jumps to this song. So much power, so much dynamism from this kind of athlete. You can just tell as he's running down the runway, he builds so much strength and power through his run. The nice thing about pole vault is all the athletes are so very different. There's not one way to pole vault. And Menno Bloom is a very powerful, strong athlete. Not the tallest, but just has so much power and strength. that he loads that pole. He puts all that speed and energy on the runway into that pole, just catapults himself over the bar. He does give it a little touch on the way down, a few little adjustments. Here's Alex Danian, European finalist in that European Championships last year in Rome. Her opening bar of 4:21. Choosing to jump to Sweet Caroline. Nice, very classy and clinical opening bar. A lot of these athletes will open on a soft, easy pole to get them into the competition, and then choose to move up stiffer poles as the comp goes on. So that looked like a very easy pole for her, very clinical. Lands nice and deep in the pit. Very nice clearance. Very easy. Over on the men's runway is Thibaut Collet taking his first attempt at 550. Like we said, had an amazing season last year. 595 mark, almost at 6 meters. He has a very unique style as well. He's again not the tallest athlete, but has so much speed on the runway, takes off far, really loads that pole, and makes light work of that 550 bar. Very, very easy for him. We're still fairly early on in the season, so a lot of these athletes will be coming off the back of a 3-4 month training block. Not really sure where they're at. Most pole vaulting athletes can't replicate the same poles in competition as trainers, so you really don't get a gauge for how high and what kind of shape you're in until you get in that competition environment. That was a very nice clearance from him, very easy. Landing nice and deep in the pit, lots of room around all sides of the bar. Super, super easy. This is Virginia up for a first attempt at 4:21. Nice clearance, a little bit scrappy. I've competed with Virginia a lot over the years, and she's got really good speed on the runway, but she's usually very, very gymnastic and very tidy on the pole, and it seems a little bit scrappy today. But like I say, she's over from Canada or America. It's quite a hard jump for these athletes to make to come over the pond. A big time jump, a lot of jet lag in the legs. Sometimes they just use these early comps to find the rhythm and find the groove, but that was a very easy clearance. Pole potentially a little bit soft. You can see how she just flies over the bar and lands deep in the pit. Chris Nielsen for his first attempt at 550, asking for the crowd for their help and their clap. Like I said, these athletes, they get to choose what song that they jump to. Gets them in the zone, gets them pumped up. Another special reason to come to these meets. Doesn't even look like the bar's gone up any. That was a very, very, very nice and easy clearance of 550. Chris had an amazing year back in 2021, 2022, winning Olympic and world medals. Struggled a little bit last year. Looks to be back in great form. That was a super easy clearance. Considering the bar's at 550, you wouldn't think it with that clearance. Very nice. So much energy off the top of that pole. Over in the women's comp, we have Luz. Her second attempt at 4:21. The only woman to have a failure at this bar. Oh, very nice. So much different to that first attempt. It was like chalk and cheese. Very nice run, tall at takeoff, and excellent clearance. Sometimes with pole vault, only something needs to be off by a margin, a whisker, 1%, and the jump would be completely different. And that to me was a completely different jump. You could just tell the way she set it up. She got on top of the pole a lot easier. So instead of being shot into the bar, she was lifted up and over. Very nice clearance. Completely different to that first attempt. So this is the elite A and B competition, and tomorrow the Perch meets to do a great job of getting lots of other athletes involved. They usually have junior comps throughout the day, and tomorrow is another 3 pole vault competitions throughout the day. Back to the action. We have Renaud Lavillenie for his first attempt at 550. Absolute legend in France, massive celebrity, major in the pole vault community, paved the way, set the standard, was so dominant for so many years. What can he do at this opening bar of 550? Nice clearance. Very easy clearance. He must be feeling confident to be opening at 550. Struggled with injuries the last couple of years, and unfortunately it was so sad to see him not make that Olympic Games on home soil. But that looked like a good clearance to me. He's very fast on the runway. He's always been one of the fastest men on the runway. Such a good technician. You can see his toilet takeoff and just loads that pole and keeps the energy in the pole as he inverts and swings upside down. Quite a few men are coming down on the bar, which means probably starting on slightly stiffer poles than usual, potentially they're feeling a bit good. But yeah, a lot of them are coming down, which means potentially needing to adjust the stands in a little bit. Poles aren't rolling as much as they potentially thought they might. Over in the women's, the bar's gone up to 436. Woo! This would actually be a PB for this lady, for Boulant. Her PB is 435, and that was a very good, very close attempt, considering that's a PB height. Very impressive. Sometimes all it takes are some of these younger athletes, those that aren't usually surrounded by world, Olympic, finalist, medalists. Sometimes it takes this environment to really bring out the best in someone, and it seems like Boulant is having a great day at the office. You see, she's just, as I just mentioned, she's coming down on that bar, needs to adjust the stands, potentially hit the pole a bit harder at the bottom, get a bit more energy so the pole rolls a bit more. Back over in the men's, the bar is still at 550. Last man to attempt this, Emmanuel Corrales, Olympic bronze medalist in Paris, jumping to his familiar song that he jumps to at every pole vault street meet. Very nice. Corrales changed coaches about 2 years ago to Peter Lisek's coach, and it's transformed him. So confident, so consistent. Made a few technical changes in his jump that has just been the key to his success, and this guy is unstoppable. Jumped the world lead last week, also in France, in a very easy clinical jump. You can see how easy that pole is, how he's flying over the bar, lands really deep in the pit. Wouldn't be surprised if he was to change up onto another pole. Now these athletes, as I mentioned, as the comp goes on, they'll probably be travelling with between 6 and 10 poles, and that's because as the competition ramps up, they've got more adrenaline, more energy. They'll move up onto bigger poles, and the bigger pole you get on, the higher you go in the air. That's really the trick. First attempt at 436 for Roos. Nice clearance. Very nice clearance, and that's a season's best for her. Currently, a season's best was 4:31, but not anymore. It's 4:36. After that first attempt, that was a bit shaky. She seems to have figured something out. That was a beautiful clearance, beautiful attempt. It's only 4 centimetres away from her PB, so she's clearly in great form. Very nice jump again. She is landing quite deep in the pit. Lots of bar speed over that bar. Could probably afford to change up onto a bigger pole, which, as we know, means bigger heights. Second attempt for Jacob Button at 550. Off that shortened approach. He has jumped 575 off this approach, so he's more than capable. Very lucky for that bar to have stayed on, but it did, and that's all that matters. It just looks like to me he's not got the speed to get over the bar. He's dying onto the bar. The pole's not casting him and giving him air. His chest is flopping onto the bar. You can see there. Needs a little bit more pole speed. Yeah, as you can see, it's so far away from that bar as he releases. Massively coming down on it. Here is Alex Dehaiman's first attempt at 4 meters and 36. This is her season's best coming into this. PB 4:53. Patiently waiting for music to start. Not a bad attempt. Hope she's not hurt herself. Don't know whether the bar or the pole hit her in the nose, but kind of looked like she didn't. Not sure whether she believed the attempt or not, but she just came crashing down upon that bar. I think she is bleeding. She's having a nosebleed. Hope she's okay. But yeah, if we look at that jump again, great run and takeoff, and then she's just don't know whether she hits the bar off with her face. Oof. Yeah. Like a lot of these athletes in this competition today, they're coming up short. The pole's not rolling all the way through, which means they're all coming crashing down on the bar. Now, you can knock off the bar on the way up, which means the pole's too soft, or you can knock the bar off on the way down, which means the pole is not rolling in. Maybe it's a little bit on the stiff side. You need a bit more energy to help it roll through. But yeah, a lot of these athletes are coming up short today. The bar over in the men's competition is up to 560. I imagine a few of these men will pass this height. Straight over. Sometimes all it takes is one jump for everything to click. And he made that look a lot easier. Getting some technical feedback. Looking at the iPad.
On va continuer avec le concours féminin 7 qui est pour le moment placé deuxième provisoirement de ce concours.
Yeah, much cleaner, much tidier vault. Not much room around the bar. Hopefully he's got another couple of poles in his bag. Gives it a little tickle, but clean clearance for Jacob Wotton. Virginia over in the women's pole vault for her first attempt, 4:36, currently on a clean card. No failures, can she keep it that way? Asking for the crowd to get behind her with a clap. Not quite. She looks incredibly strong and powerful on the runway, but it looks to me like she's getting caught a bit close, and then she's losing all the energy that she's creating in the pole vault runway. You can just see she looks like she stutters a little bit into the last two steps and gets caught a little bit at takeoff. As you can see, very strong, powerful running, really, really strong, and then it's like potentially runs a bit out of space, and as soon as you can see her fighting against the pole at the bottom, as soon as that starts to happen, the jump just doesn't flow. Here's Menno Vloon for his first attempt at 560. Very nice clearance. He has this unique ability to know exactly where his body is in time and space. And that was an excellent example of what he can do, where he knows his body and he knows what to do with his legs and his arms to get himself out of the way of that bar. And I've never seen anyone do it as well as him. As you can see, he plants the pole, he just dips that leg to get his body over the bar. Very nice clearance, landing so deep in the pit, got so much margin to go up. Quite a few men have passed. Thierry's passed 560, Sasma's passed 560, Renault's passed 560, and Corrales. Now over in the women is Imogen Iris. Incredible PB of 460 in that Olympic final last year. Her opening bar of 4:36. Not the most convincing opening bar. Just looked like she got caught a little bit at takeoff. And then the jump then was a bit of a struggle. Nice, strong, powerful run, and then takeoff was a bit jammy. She gives that bar a little tickle on the way down. Yeah, it looked like she slowed down a little bit into takeoff, potentially feeling like she's running out of space. She does a good job to get over the bar, but again, she's really far away from that bar, coming down on it. Chris Nielsen, one of the guys who opted to take in this 560. Had two amazing clearances at 535 and 550 so far. Can he keep that clean record? Very easy. Very, very easy. Looks like he's in the zone today. Everything looks so easy for him. One of the things that Chris has in his arsenal when he is rolling is he's very, very consistent. Consistent run, consistent takeoff, consistent jump. And that was another very similar jump to the other two before. Looks like he's back to 2021 Chris. Olympic silver medalist in that Tokyo Olympic Games. Getting the breakdown there. This is Roberta Bruni, first time we're seeing her today in this competition with her opening bar of 4:36. very fun character to be around on the circuit. Lots of energy, lots of emotion. Very talented athlete, very fast, very strong. Very easy, very, very easy opening bar. Her PB is 473. Got a season's best as 456. Been on the circuit a long time. Very strong run, very nice takeoff, nice and fast. She drops on the pole, adds a lot of energy into that pole. Very clinical, very, very tidy jumper. Very smooth and easy. Down bars up to 570. Thierry, the first man to attempt this bar. Very nice clearance. Looked like he stuttered a little bit into that takeoff. Maybe he felt like he was running out of space. But he found a way to get over that bar. As you can see there on the face, he's not happy. Not really sure what went wrong. Something. But in those last couple of steps, it looked like he just runs out of space. Does quite a big cut step. Still manages to find a way, and that's 5 centimetres. Only 5 centimetres below his PB and season's best. I think we can see potentially this guy going a lot higher today, breaking that PB. First time we're seeing this lady today, MG Bonin, a new French pole vault star. Such a talented athlete, incredible power on the runway. Her opening bar of 436. Her season's best is actually the highest in the field at 466, which she did last week in Rouen. Very easy. Such an incredible athlete. She has so much speed and power on the runway. Her jump sometimes is a little bit raggedy, but when she times it up, she really gets cast high in the air. There's a lot of potential from MG Bonin. Only been around on the circuit and the scene for the last couple of years. I think she's got a lot of improving to do in the pole, on her on-pole work, which is of course only promising. She's already cleared 470 with a lot more to improve. Very, very exciting future, I think, for Bonin. Over in the men's competition, we can just hear in the background Ersu Sazma with his first attempt at 570. Again, looked like he ran out of space a little bit on that runway. I don't know whether athletes are now getting geared up. There's a bit of a skill to the pole vault in that you need to stay calm, you need to stay relaxed. Kind of like in the long jump, if you run too fast and you overstep the board, a similar thing can happen here in the pole vault. If you get caught too close, the angle at which the takeoff, it just changes everything. There's a sweet spot for an athlete to take off and leave the ground, and if you're too close or too far, it completely messes with the whole dynamic of the jump. And you can just see, as soon as he left the ground, he was fighting against the pole, trying to get as good a jump as he can out of it. A lot of these athletes will know as soon as they hit the takeoff whether it's going to be the perfect jump or not. Here we go for the second attempt for Louise Boulon at 436. So close on that first attempt. Can she get a PB here today? Crowd are really getting behind her. And there we go, it stayed up. That's a PB for Boulon. She's so happy. She gave that bar a right good clatter, but what matters is it stays on, and it did. She's incredibly happy with that. 1 centimetre PB. For these athletes, it doesn't matter whether it's 10 centimetres or 1 centimetre. A PB is a PB, and she's absolutely stoked with that. Very controlled and great run up, and then she just hits that takeoff. Gives it a good rattle on the way down, but she does tickle it with her chest, but because she's hit the bar on the way down, it is more likely to stay on. First PB of the evening. Are we going to get many more? We have a couple of people passing. This is Jacob Woodton's first attempt at 570. He was very close over that 560, so I wonder whether he's made any changes to make this. I think for his run up in the pole, he's on 570 is really on the limit, so he's going to need to really dig out the perfect jump. Like I say, he has cleared 575 on this run up length, so he is capable of going over this bar. Only the very smallest of the fails, you just see him slightly knock it off. Here we go for another second attempt at this 436 bar. Tehanian, quite capable of clearing this. Looks like she's okay after that little blip she had over the first attempt, sorry. Just a little safety takeoff. Sometimes in the pole vault, it is an incredibly dangerous event. Lots of people have been quite severely hurt. If you do get this event wrong, you can get injured and hurt yourself. So when you've had a little fall like she had there, where she hit the bar with her face, it can really shake you up, and it maybe takes you a few more times to get in. So that would have just been a little safety thing for her, making sure she's okay, making sure she feels safe, and I'm sure she'll come back for that third attempt and really attack it. I think it's important to remember with these athletes in a dangerous sport like this, the health is an absolute priority, and anything that jeopardises that, it's not worth it. Here we go for Menno Vloon and his first attempt at 570. Clean record so far, can he keep that? No. Good attempt. It kind of looked like he came out of the jump too early. The thing with the men and the pole vault is they load that pole so much, they add so much energy into the pole, and it's about being patient when you're in the inverted position to use all the energy so then it casts you up. And it just looked like he came out of the jump a little bit too soon there. Yeah, you see him whip out, and instead of going up, it gets cast and thrown into the bar. But it's easier said than done, you know, that once they've left the ground, it's a matter of split seconds to make decisions, and if you've not made that decision quick enough and you've decided to come out early, that's kind of what your body's doing. Paul, it's so important that you need to be one step ahead. Back over in the women's field is Virginia Skardanson and her second attempt at 436. Getting that crowd behind her again. Nice clearance. Nice solid clearance from her. She's still getting drifted a little bit right. and I wonder whether that's because she's getting caught a little bit at takeoff, but solid clearance. All that matters is she's cleared the bar, she's on to the next bar. You can see there she just gets pulled a little bit to the right hand side. Sometimes that's if you get caught a little bit close, you get pulled and drifted over to that right hand side. But a very nice clean clearance, wraps herself around the bar. So much good bar awareness. This is Thibaut Collet's second jump of the day, 5m70. Looks a little too far away from me, a little bit disconnected with the jump. Comes from a pole vaulting family. Dad used to pole vault, brother pole vaults. Nice height, really nice height over the bar, just barring a little bit the wrong place. It looks like it potentially comes down on it a little bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, nowhere near clearing that. Needs more penetration into the bed or bring those stands in. Here we go for the third attempt. The crowd are really getting behind her. They really wanted to get over this really unfortunate event on that first attempt where the bar hit her in the face and it seems to have shook her up a little bit. Oh, unfortunate, very unlucky for her. That's her competition over. Finishes with 4:21. You can tell she's upset and disappointed. I think it's hard for pole vaulters when you know you're in a certain shape just to have your competition over so quickly. A really nice attempt. I think if she would have done that on a second attempt instead of the bail, I think she'd have a really cracking attempt at the third. Just looked like she was blowing through a little bit there. Here's Nielsen's first attempt at 570. Been looking really, really good the first bit of this competition. Can he continue that good run? Nice. Very nice. Chris is someone who likes to take a lot of jumping competitions. He doesn't open high and try to do a competition in 2 or 3 jumps. He really likes to build into the comp, and he's doing it again here. Four bars attempt, 4 clean clearances. Very nice. As you can see, there's so much speed over the bar, so much scope to go up onto bigger poles. Now what can this lady do? She's already cleared a PB today. Already cleared a season's best, then a PB. The bar up to 4:46. This would be an 11 centimetre PB. She's already happy. What can she do here? Looks like she might have changed up poles. You can see her not fully convinced coming down on that ramp. Potentially thinks, okay, if I'm going to clear the next bar, I need to go up a pole. She's already had a great day at the office. This would be another 10 centimetre PB. Getting some feedback from her coach. Over in the men's comp, we can hear Renaud Lavillenie getting introduced for his first attempt at 570. Choosing to skip 560, going straight to 570. Someone who likes to take much fewer jumps, likes to pass heights. saves his energy for those bigger bars. Familiar Renault run and Renault song. Very nice clearance. Very easy. Really, really happy with that. You can tell that means a lot. This is his first competition of the season, so he doesn't have a season's best, so that will be his season's best. But for him to open up his indoor campaign with a height of 570, we do have a lot of championships coming up this year. We have the European indoors, the World indoors, the World outdoors. Now for men, the European indoor qualification mark is 585. The World indoor qualification mark is also 585, and then the World outdoors in Japan is 5 meters 82. So some of these guys, especially Renault, who hasn't qualified, hasn't got the qualifying mark for any of those three comps, will be looking to secure that bar. Over on the women's side, the European indoors is 470, the World indoors is 475, and the World outdoors is 473, so we're still a bit away from that bar yet. This is Lucy's first attempt at 446. This would be a PB, an outright PB. It's currently sitting at 440. Nice strong run up. No, we just see a bell from her. This is a 6 centimetre PB for her. So those nerves will be jangling. It's a bar she's never attempted before, she's never cleared before. What's interesting about pole vault, as I mentioned before, is a lot of athletes will use 2, 3, 4 poles bigger in competition than they've ever used in training. When Mondo Duplantis is attempting the world record, he's picking up a pole he has never ever used in training before. So there is a bit of a mental element to that. Potentially with Rouge, she's never picked up this pole before. Here we go with Emmanuel Corrales with his first attempt at 570. This man seems unstoppable, so consistent, so clinical, so radiating confidence. So much speed and energy on the runway, and so easy. You can just look how deep he lands in the pit. It's so easy for him. Corrales has qualified for both the European indoors, the World indoors, so I wonder whether he is one of the European athletes that will opt in to go for both of those. Very nice clearance, so easy. You can see the energy. You know, he almost is moving his arms upright as he flies over the bar because it's just so easy. There's so much room around the bar. Over in the women's, we can just hear Virginia Scardanza getting introduced for her first attempt at 446. This would be a PB for her. PB is 445. Season's best of 440 and a PB of 445. What can she do on this first attempt? She was very close on that 436 attempt. No, we see her then going right. Seems to be a bit of a theme of the day for Virginia today, is going right, and I just wonder whether the connection at takeoff has just been a smidge off. There's Angelica Moser in shot. She's yet to come in. She will be coming in at this bar. No. Nice and strong on the runway, but I think there's just a little bit of something going on at takeoff, which is just pushing her right, and as soon as the connection at takeoff is off, you're just not getting the most out of yourself and the pole. We're going round now with the second attempts at 570. We have 4 men clear at this bar in Thierry, Nielsen, Levellini and Corrales. We just have Bloon, Wootton and Sasma and Collet all on second attempts at this bar of 570. All of those men are quite capable of clearing 570. Just about getting the right technique and the right precision. Such a nice jump, so much easier. You just see the connection of the pole, him and the pole are one. You can see how much energy he gets off the top of it. Yeah, much better. So in line with the pole. So tight and tidy at the top of the pole, he really goes upwards. A lot of space, a lot of room around that bar. Back over in the women, we were on first attempts at 4:46, and this is Imogen Aries. While Chris checks out his hair. This will be a season's best. Oh no, Imogen has a season's best of 4:55. Very nice clearance, very easy. A lot nicer than that first attempt at 4:36. A little bit more energy into that takeoff, brought a bit more speed. Slightly nicer connection with the pole and makes light work of 4:46. Very nice clearance, very easy. Strong and powerful running. Almost knocks it off with a thigh, but a nice clean clearance for Imogen there. Back over in the men now, we have Jacob Wootton with his second attempt at 570. I think this is very close to the limit of what Jacob is capable on this run-up length, so let's see if he can squeeze absolutely everything out of that pole that he can and get over this bar. Oh, as you can see, he's just dying onto the bar. He's doing as much as he can with the speed and the energy that he's able to put into that pole, and it's just not carrying him high enough and over that bar. Sometimes with an athlete, if you've reached the pole that you can manage on that run-up length, it really is just a matter of trying to deliver the perfect jump. You know, because he is only from 12 steps today, a lot of the other boys are running from 18 and 20 steps. It was only so high that he'll be able to go. Back over in the women's pole vault, we have Roberta Bruni of Italy with her first attempt at 4:46. This should be easy for her. She has season's best of 4:56. She had a very good clearance at the lower bar of 4:36, so this shouldn't be challenging for her. Nice strong running, great at takeoff. Just coming down on that pole a little bit. Very fast and dynamic athlete is Roberta Bruni. She's on long and stiff UCS Spirit poles. Good run, nice takeoff. Maybe just needs to have a little look at the stands. She looks like she just brushes it on the way down. A little bit of a tweak, maybe a little bit more energy into the takeoff. And bring the stands in a little bit, but that was a very close clearance. Just needs to tweak those stands. Hopefully a coach will tell her that. We've got 2 more athletes to attempt 570 on their second attempt, Menno Vloen and Thibaut Collet. Both men quite capable of clearing this. The thing with Menno Vloon is he's so dynamic and so explosive that sometimes if he misses the connection and he's a little bit impatient in the swing or he misses the timing, all that energy kind of gets sprung in different directions, and that's kind of what we saw there. I don't know whether he's also been hit in the face with the bar or the pole. It looks like he's down and a little bit hurt. Whilst we zoom into Angelica Moser, it's the first time we see her today in this competition at her opening bar of 4.46. Such a strong and powerful athlete, runs in from 18 steps, brings so much speed and momentum, and last year she was so incredibly consistent, had so much confidence, was going to competitions and just clearing 480 for fun. There really is a new wave of female pole vaulter coming through. You've got the likes of Angelica Moser finishing 4th in Paris, you've got Molly Caudry jumping 4.92 last year, that British record. Alicia Newman. Can Moser clear this on her first attempt? Very easy. Very easy clearance from Angelica Moser, just like we'd like to see in her opening bar. Trains with a combined events group, does Angelica Moser. Trains with sprinters, trains with sprint hurdlers, does shot put, does all sorts of different events. Seems to be working incredibly well for her. Very nice jump. Very easy clearance, you can tell there. She wasn't really trying too hard. She just floated over it. Just what you expect to see from someone in their opening bar. Thibaut Calais is the last person to attempt 470 in this second round of attempts. Just 3 guys are yet to go over this bar. We'll see Menno Vloon and Jacob Button's third attempt coming up. This is Thibaut Calais' second attempt at 570. Cleared that amazing 595 last year. Switching quickly over to the women's is a second attempt for Boulet. This would be a massive PB if she could get over it. Looks like she's just not quite believing it and just lacking a bit of energy and dynamism through that jump. She's already got a season best, she's already got a PB. Sometimes the emotion of jumping a PB can really take it out of you. It looks like she's just lacking that little bit of energy and that timing with the pole. She doesn't get on top of the bend. But potentially this is a bigger pole, potentially a pole she's never taken before. As Thibaut Calais takes his second attempt at 570, can he go over on his second attempt? Great run up, very easy clearance. Got such a nice free takeoff. It's very fast on the runway, attacks that takeoff with a free takeoff, loads the pole, gets the timing correct on this occasion, easily flies over that bar. He has a very low pole carry over those last 6 to 8 strides. He carries that pole so low, which is quite unique. Lots of very nice clearance, beautiful space all around the bar. Continuing over on the women's side with second attempt at 4 meters 46. This would be a PB, a lifetime best for Rousse of France. No, not a convincing attempt. She just kind of stalls out halfway through. It's worth noting that for a lot of these athletes, it's important, these competitions, to gain points. Now, while the world outdoor qualification mark is 473 for women, which is incredibly high, only 12 to 14 to 16 girls will reach that target. The rest is to be selected on the ranking points. So if you perform well at some competitions with high ranking points, you can get yourself into that field. So it's really important that athletes are coming to these competitions and performing well and getting as many points as they can. Give them the best chance. Here we go, Jacob Wootton, third and final attempt at 5 meters 70. Can he squeeze himself over this bar? Oh, best attempt of the day. Only just brushes it off with his chest, but I think he's done an amazing job. Flew over from America this week to start a tour of a few European competitions. Still on that short and 12-step run-up, doing all he can with the speed that is available from 12 steps. Great technical pole vaulter. Great, saved his best attempt till last. Just tickles it off. But that's the end of the day for Jacob Wootton. He'll finish in 8th place with a height of 560. Just not high enough in the air. We have one more man to attempt 570 before the bar moves up. Virginia Skarganston asking for the crowd for a second attempt at 446. This would also be a PB, a 1 centimetre PB for Virginia. Can she make an improvement on that first attempt that we saw where she went considerably right? Great powerful run. That's another bail. It just looks like she's got so much speed and power on the runway. I wonder whether that's something she's been working on with her coach. And with additional speed and additional power, you need to be ready for that takeoff. Your hands need to be early. You need to be ready to jump. Sometimes when you've had a good winter and you're a lot faster, it just makes taking off at the takeoff so much harder. And I just wonder whether she's trying to figure that out, because there is a little bit of a disconnect between the run and the takeoff. But I think if she can just time that up, I think she'll easily clear a PB, because she looks incredibly powerful and strong and fast this year. Changed coaches late last year. She's working with a new coaching dynamic. I'm sure they'll be trying to problem solve certain things. Sometimes it can be difficult in that first year with a new coach. Okay, the bar is up to 580. I can see on the scorecard that Menno Vloon has retired and opted not to take his third and final attempt. I don't know whether Menno Vloon is maybe getting some medical treatment after that incident of his last attempt. It just looks like he's passed his final attempt at 570. Whether he will be receiving medical attention and return to the competition. But the bar is up to 580 and we have 6, possibly 7 men left in this competition. This would be a PB for Baptiste Thierry, a lifetime best, the highest he has ever jumped. Can he clear this 580 bar? Oh, so very close. That's his first failure of the day. Only his third jump of the day, so he has a lot more energy within him. 2 more attempts to try and clear that PB. That was a very good attempt. Very close. Only a few small tweaks, potentially he could be clearing that next bar. A little bit low at takeoff, but that's kind of his natural style, is to lay down on the pole. He doesn't necessarily jump onto the takeoff. He lies back into the takeoff, but that's his style. But he just knocks it on the way up. Either needs to swing a little bit earlier or potentially change up a pole if he has that pole in the bag. So you see Renault doing a little bit of self-management. These competitions can take hours. You can be out there for hours. It takes a toll on the body. Roberto Bruni's second attempt at 4:46. Very close attempt on that first one. Asking for that cameraman to step back. It can be very distracting for athletes to have someone in your eye line when you're trying to focus on a million things at once. Come on, Roberta. Nice strong run, attacking that takeoff. Very nice jump, very easy. She gets it right on that one. Very easy.
Le concours continue pour elle. Alors troisième pour le moment.
Ah oui, je vais vous précipiter, effectivement, troisième place.
Voilà, on départage. Eh bien,
Watching the video back with the coach, but nice strong running styles. She really starts to wind up and attack that takeoff. Nice tall takeoff, and easily floats over the bar. Looked like she put a bit more emphasis on that takeoff and hitting that pole hard. She lands deep in the pit, and yeah, very different to that first attempt where she came crashing down on the bar. This will be Ursu Stasma's first attempt at 5.80 meters. He has qualified for the World Outdoors with that height of 5.82 at the back end of last year, but he will be looking for the 5.85 mark to qualify himself for this European Indoors and World Indoors happening both in March. Again, it looked very similar to his first failure at 5.70, where he just was a little bit disconnected from the pole. The pole seemed to be running away from him instead of him beating the pole and getting his body on top of the bend. So when the bend uncoils, it propels him upwards. It looked like he was just lagging behind it a little bit, and that cast him into the pole. As you can see there, he just waits a little bit at takeoff. He needs to swing straight away off the ground. Yeah. Doesn't quite get that usual pop that we see from him. Here we go. Louise Poulon's third and final attempt at this PB height of 4:46. The crowd really getting behind her on this. Louise Poulon, who's had a cracking day, already got a PB. Can she add 10 centimetres onto that PB? No. Not to be for her today, but what a day she's had. Coming into this competition with a season's best of 4:16, leaving with a PB of 4:36. She's happy with that. Brilliant day's work for Poulon.
on trouvera les réactions de Louise dans quelques instants, juste après, puisque le concours et les concours continuent.
Allez, l'occasion, c'est important de marquer son territoire. Le territoire, non pas français, mais
Again, it just looks like she's getting a little tired. The pole looks a little bit long and a little bit stiff for her. She just isn't getting on top of that bend like I just said about Ursu Stasma. Thibaut Collet asking for the crowd to get behind him for his first attempt at 5.80 meters. Clearing this would see him rocket up to first place. Can he clear this on his first attempt? Oof. Looked like he got a bit low and nailed at takeoff. It's really important for these guys now. The bar's starting to get that little bit higher. They don't try harder. Pole vault is such a rhythm event. Frustratingly, it's one of those events where you try harder, you probably jump worse. So it's about relaxing, remembering your processes, remembering your cues, not trying to get too G'd up by the crowd, but also using the adrenaline from the crowd to lift you up.
Louise Poulon, qu'on peut applaudir s'il vous plaît, record personnel ce soir à domicile. Louise, qu'est-ce qu'on ressent quand on perd son corps? C'est une soirée parfaite, qui plus est devant son public.
Ouais, je suis super contente. Je venais 35 voir et tout. Donc on va essayer de dinguer. Je prends une perche que j'avais prise aussi, comme ça step up. Et du coup, je suis grave contente.
Over in the women's competition, we have 3 women over 4:46. MJ Bonin decided to pass 46, and we have Elise Roos's last attempt at 4:46 coming up. She needs to clear this to keep herself in the competition. Then we'll have Virginia Skardansen with her 3rd and final attempt at 4:46. She will also need to clear this to stay in the competition.
Merci, papa.
Merci Louise Boulin, on peut nous mettre applaudir. Et on va bien sûr continuer et enchaîner parce que c'est ça aussi, il y a beaucoup de choses qui se passent ce soir.
On enchaîne avec Chris pour le premier essai à 5,80. On vous rappelle que pour l'instant, personne n'a franchi. Est-ce que c'est à 5,80 qu'on va commencer à mettre 2 orteils sur le podium? Premier essai, Chris Nielsen.
While we wait, we got back to the men's pole vault with Chris Nielsen and his first attempt at 580. He has had a perfect record so far, clearing everything first time. Can he do so on this attempt at 580 to keep his lead? Very nice, very, very nice. He really is in the zone today. He's happy with that. He's cheering. That equals his season's best. But he'll be taking that as a confidence boost so that he can go higher tonight. He's almost running off the runway. So stoked with that. He's happy with himself. Sometimes as a pole vaulter, it doesn't matter what the bar's at. If you are in perfect timing, if you know your technique's on, there's nothing nicer than flying off that pole when you're absolutely rolling. And it seems like he's having one of those days where he's just not putting a foot wrong. Technique on point. As we join the women's competition for Elise Roos's 3rd and final attempt at 4:46, she needs to clear this to stay in the competition. We've seen 2 failed attempts. Can she put together a good attempt for this 3rd and final one to stay in the competition? Best attempt of all 3. She just knocks that bar off on the way up. She's happy with the season's best. Came into this with the season's best of 4:31. Leaving with the season's best at 4:36. It's still early on. We're still in January. Still another month and so of competitions before that European champs. So relatively still early on. Not a bad attempt from Roos. Just hits it off on the way up. Needs to tidy that up a little bit, and I'm sure that's there, and that would be a PB for her. The bar at 580 over in the men's competition. We're starting to get up there. This truly is starting to become a world-class height. Renault's only took 2 jumps this whole competition. Can he clear 580 on his first attempt and keep his clean record? Such a powerful and strong athlete. Tall at takeoff. Very, very good attempt. He'll be happy with that. That is promising to him. Very close. A little bit of fine-tuning, a little bit of tidying up at that top end of the jump, but he'll know that's there.
Il a la science de la fibre, cette fibre synthétique. Il sait jouer avec ça. Formidable.
This is only Renault's first competition of the season. Only himself and Sasma have not competed this indoor season. Both of them, this is their opener. Sometimes it's difficult to know where you're at, understand what poles you're going to be on, how strong are you, how fast are you. Coming off the back of the winter training can be incredibly difficult for athletes in that first opening competition. It's all just the guessing game of where you're at. But I think Renault will be feeling very promising as to where he's at. As we see Virginia Skardansen on her final attempt at 4:46, she needs to clear this to stay in the competition. This would be a personal best for her. She's got that crowd going, she's got that clap. Here she goes, third and final attempt. She needs to clear this to stay in that competition. This would be a PB. Not to be today. That was a bail. That looked to me like a better connection, but I wonder whether that's the first time she's felt that all day, and it feels odd. Sometimes as an athlete, if you've been feeling a certain way all day and then you make a technical change for the better, it can feel weird and feel off. I always say pole vaulters, because it is so dangerous, they have these lights on their head, and as soon as they're running down, they need every single light to go green. And obviously for Virginia, the light at takeoff went red and she bailed. She didn't feel safe, she didn't feel right. That ends Virginia Scott-Anson's day, and she will finish =6 with Boulant as we go back to the men's competition for Corrales' first attempt at 580. Had a great day so far, no failures. Can he keep that record? Yes, he can. What a nice clearance that was. He's happy with that. So easy. It's still looking so easy for him. You don't see him coming down on the bar or knocking the bar off on the way up. It's just, he floats over that bar. That's his dad there and his coach on the left. Power on the runway, tall at takeoff. I heard his coach talking, and he's been really working on punching that bottom arm up, and that's really been the difference in what they've been able to uncrack with his consistency. And yeah, very nice jump. Some Greek fans in the crowd like that. Over on the women's pole vault runway, we have 4 girls left in. Imogen Eris at her first attempt at 4:56. This would be a season's best. Her season's best is 55. Good speed on the runway. Nice clearance. Very nice clearance. Looked like she was going right a little bit. Takeoff wasn't as clean as you would expect, but very nice clearance. Clean clearance for her. Season's best. Only 4 centimetres away from her personal best of 460. Set at that Olympic Games last year. Looked like a little bit of a scrappy takeoff, but still she made it work. The thing is with pole vault, you need to fight for every single jump because you never really know what's going to happen, and that is a great clearance for Imogen. She will be trying to accumulate points for the World Indoors and the World Outdoors in Japan, and that clearance of 4:56 will have done wonders for her points.
Là, c'est vraiment pour donner la pleine mesure de son talent, qui est grand et grandissant, Baptiste Thierry.
Here we go for Thierry's second attempt at 580. This would be a PB. Can he clear it on his second attempt? Yes, he can! What a clearance! That is a PB for Baptiste Thierry. The first time he has ever jumped over 5 meters 80. You can see what that means to him. What a great clearance. Didn't even touch the bar. Looked very easy. I wouldn't be surprised if he could go higher. He needs that 582 for the World Outdoors, a 585 for the European and World Indoors. And I definitely feel like a 585 is within him. Very nice clearance. I think if he could just stay on that pole a little bit more patient at the top. He just comes out of it a little bit, and you see the pole wiggle there. That's lost energy, but nonetheless, PB, amazing clearance from Baptiste Thierry.
Le principal, on va pouvoir se remettre de ses émotions avec le record personnel du
We've seen Imogen Iris go over 4:56 on her first attempt for a season's best. Can Roberta Bruni join Imogen over this bar? Very, very good clearance at 4:46 that we just saw. If she can execute something remotely similar, she will fly over this bar. Goes. Can she join Imogen? Not to be on this first attempt. Looked like she was potentially could have broken that bar. Luckily enough, there's lots of spares on site for when athletes break that bar. Looked like a good run for me, maybe just didn't quite wind up enough. Yeah, she hits the bar on the way up. Just needs to swing that little bit quicker if she's going to hit the pole that well off the ground, or potentially change up onto a bigger pole. But for me, she can swing a lot faster and get her hips on top of that bend, and it'll cast her up instead of into the bar. As we join the men's comp now with Ursu Sazma for his second attempt at 580. That was a better attempt. Oh, it's so unlucky. Still not quite getting on top of that bend as well as he did at the lower bars, but that was so unlucky for him. He just tickles it off with his chest. But that for me was so much better. I think he can just swing faster though. You can just tell there's a small fraction of a weight just before he initiates the swing, and I think that's just not quite meaning he's getting on top of the bend. Such a small amount of a tickle for that bar to come off. We've seen other athletes hit the bar more today and stay on, as we have MJ Bonin with her first attempt at 56. She chose to skip the height of 4:46, potentially to conserve a little bit of more energy. Oh, here we go with Thibaut Collet with his second attempt at 580. Can he go clear on this second attempt? No! Not quite. Be interesting to get another replay on that. He's someone that likes to take off far away, but sometimes if you do take off a little bit too far away, there is a disconnect between you and the pole, and it just looked like the pole's not casting him up. Yeah, he's just missing the timing a little bit. He's not getting on top of that bend. He is still coming down on that bar. Needs to bring his stance in or add a little bit more intensity into that takeoff. But here we are with MJ Bonin with her first attempt at 4:56. She's only took one jump today. So powerful. Oof. Just a little bit lazy at the top there. She brings so much speed and energy into that jump, but just gets a little bit lost in that jump. She just needs to tidy up a little bit, try not to rush. But it kind of just looked like she was on and off the pole too quick. She wasn't patient in waiting for that pole to fully recoil, and you can just see there as it just like zips away from her and she flies off it and just hits the bar off. Just needs to keep control of that pole a little bit more. You can see her push that pole away. She can just hold on and keep that pole tight to her. It'd give her a little bit more energy and it'd cast her over the bar. go. Renaud Lavillnie's second attempt at 580 was so incredibly close on that first attempt. The music's louder, the claps are going. Can that little bit of energy get him over this 580, which would be an incredible season opener for him. Great speed and takeoff. Brilliant clearance. That was an amazing clearance. Yes, he is incredibly happy with that. That's one of his best jumps all day. You could just see the speed and the energy he brought into that takeoff. Loaded that pole, got on top of the bend, and cast him quite considerably over 580. He's someone who hasn't qualified for any of the major championships this year, so he'll be hoping for that 585 and 582 mark, which, going off that clearance, is well within him. Just gives it a little tickle, but still room.
Quand en plus on sait qu'il est constructeur de la dernière étape du Perch'Xtrem. Oh là 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 là, quelle sensation!
You can see how incredibly loved Renaud Lavillenie is in France. The cheers and the crowd go wild for him. We'd love to see him up and over a bar such as 580. We are truly talking world-class jumping if you're clearing 580. Meanwhile, over in the women's, we have Angelica Moser taking her second jump of the day at 4.56, as we see Menno Vloen with a strapped up nose. He obviously clearly hurt himself on that attempt earlier in the day. Angelica Moser, the favourite in this competition, taking a second jump of the day. Nice amount of speed and power, but does knock that bar off. Early days for Angelica. Potentially the pole looks a little bit too soft. She looked like she was running in fast, bringing a lot of energy. Might just need to change the equipment. Looked like, yeah, she just rushed it on the way up. Takes that bar off. So much speed across the bar. Yeah. I think she needs a bigger pole. She's clearly running well. She's clearly in good shape. Just needs the right equipment in her hands to clear this bar. As we go to Sasma for his third and final attempt at 580. As we see a Mexican wave break out in the crowd. Can Sasma stay in this competition with a clearance here at 580? He needs to clear this to stay in the competition. We just saw that narrow miss on that second attempt. Can he clear this bar? No, you just see that hesitation and takeoff. Not to be for Sasma today, but this is his season opener, and he cleared 570 in his season opener, which is the season's best. Good day at the office for Ursu Sasma to open up his indoor campaign. He has cleared, he has got the qualifying mark for the World Outdoors, but will be looking for that 585 mark for the European Indoors and World Indoors. As we hear Roberta Bruni getting introduced to the crowd for her second attempt at 4.56. need to see a bit more speed and energy into that takeoff to get a bit more blow across the bar. Very nice jump. Very close. Very close attempt for Roberta Bruni. This would equal her season best. She jumped 4:56 last week in Rouen. PB of 4:73 back in 2023 in Italy for the Italian record. She's the Italian record holder. Lovely run and takeoff, beautiful to run and takeoff, really nice connection with the pole. It just looks too soft again. I think either she needs to be swinging earlier and keeping the pressure in that pole, or changing up as we zoom into Thibaut Collet for his third and final attempt at 580. Two really good attempts so far. The music is loud, the crowd is loud. Can they help him over this bar of 580? Oh. Great clearance. It looked like he was miles over that. He just tickles it off. He thanks the crowd. He'll look back on that video and be happy with his day. He's disappointed in the moment because he knows it's there. He knew how close that attempt was. But it's such fine margins. He only just tickles it off. He's miles over the bar. Definitely his high point is in a slightly better place on that attempt, but still coming up a little bit short. Needs maybe a little bit more energy, a little bit more speed into that takeoff to get a bit more pole speed. So his high point is more over the bar rather than coming down on it, as we see MG Bonin for her second attempt at 4:56. Can she be a little tidier in this attempt? The only French girl left in, the only French hope for this competition. She needs to clear this. So much speed and power. Yes. She just keeps on that pole a little bit longer and flies over the bar. She just needs to learn to keep the pressure and keep onto that pole, and it will literally add 20 to 30 centimetres higher. We're talking margins, we're talking fractions of a second to hold on to that pole, but it makes all the difference. She goes clear at 4:56 and joins Imogen Ayres as the only other person to have cleared this height. The bar is going up on the men's pit to 5:85, and this would be another PB for Baptiste Thierry. It would be the world outdoor qualification mark, it would be the European indoor qualification mark, and it would be the world indoor qualification mark for this man. The crowd wants him over, he wants him over. It would be another PB, it would be massive. Can he clear 5:85? Very close attempt, very similar to his first failure at 5:80. He's never attempted this height before, he's never been up there. Some athletes, they want a sighter, they need to know what it feels like to go that high in the air, and that for him was his sighter. He will have 2 more attempts at this PB height. Such a crucial bar for him to get ticked off. It would qualify him for every single major championships in this 2025 season, and he is incredibly close. Already cleared a PB of 5:80. As we rejoin the women's pole vault, Angelica Moser's second attempt at 4:56. So much speed and energy, the pole just had nothing. It's hard to tell, sat here, whether she's changed up, but I imagine she has, looking at how soft that pole was. This woman has cleared 4:88 last year. 4:56 should not be a problem for her. Can Angelica Moser join the other two women in the competition over this bar of 4:56? Yes, she can. Very, very easy. Definitely changed up pole. You can just see how different that first attempt and second attempt was. So much height over the bar. Instead of blowing and crashing through the bar with a soft pole, she goes nicely up and over with so much air to spare. Such a talented young lady. She's been on the scene for quite a while, but has really broke through over the last couple of years. Brilliant clearance. Really exciting to see women's pole vault. Unlike in the men's, you've got a standout in Mondo Duplantis and then a lot of men around the 5:96. The women's pole vault is so open. You've got Angelica Moser, you've got Nina Kennedy, you've got Katie Moon, you've got Sandy Morris, you've got Molly Caudry. It's so open and so exciting. As we see Renaud Lavillenie, he will want to clear this 5:85. For him, this would tick off all three of the majors this year. It would be the World Outdoors, the European Indoors and the World Indoors. Clear this bar and you are qualified for all three major championships this year. No, didn't quite believe it. You could see the hesitation at the takeoff, whether he's changed up a pole or potentially, he had quite an emotional celebration at 5:80. That can sometimes take a bit of a toll out of you. But he'll know the significance and the importance of this very bar. He missed out on going to that Olympic Games in Paris last year because he didn't have the qualifying mark. So for him, it's so important to get that mark and stamp his plane ticket for going. I can just see Menno Vloon in the background with his spikes off and his tracky bottoms. So he is out of that competition. Hopefully he's not too hurt, too injured. There's two people today that have took the bar to the face. Here we go, Roberta Bruni. Her third and final attempt at 4:56. We've seen two incredible attempts. Just crashing through the bar, slightly soft equipment. Potentially she's changed up. Maybe she's just had a word with her coach and she's got to go that little bit faster in the swing. But she is more than capable of clearing this. More than capable. She's in great form. She's looking great. She's got speed and energy on the runway. Crowd are getting behind her. Great song to build energy. Can Roberta Bruni stay in this competition and clear this bar? Yes, she can. Very, very solid clearance. She's happy with that. That equals her season's best and she will progress in the competition, which for her is the main thing. That is 4 women over 4:56. 4 women progress to the next bar, which will be 4:66, and that will be a season's best for Angelica Moser, a season's best for Roberta Bruni, an equal season's best for Bonin, and an outright PB for Imogen Eris. This is a big bar. This is going to separate the field. Who can go clear at the next bar of 4:66? We have 4 women left in. While we go back to the men's pole vault with Baptiste Thierry. We only have Baptiste Thierry and Renaud Lavillenie attempting this height for obvious reasons. They both need this bar for their qualifications for the year. Christopher Nielsen and Emmanuel Corrales have both qualified for the World Outdoors. they will be going and passing to 590. But can Thierry clear this PB, this important bar? We had an incredibly close attempt on that first one. Can he clear a PB? Oh, very, very close again. Very close. Such fine margins when you're getting up to these PB bars. You can see on his face how much this means to him. He wants it. He wants to clear it. He doesn't want to come back another day and go through the warm-up and the whole competition again. He wants to clear this now. He just needs to be a little bit patient on the run. He needs to save it for those last few steps. Sometimes if an athlete gets too carried away at the back of the runway, goes too fast too soon, they've got nowhere to go. These athletes need to be saving their acceleration for that second part of the runway. You want to see an athlete accelerating into that takeoff, because that is how you're going to hit the pole with as much speed and power as you can. As we join the women's, Imogen Aries' first attempt at a lifetime best of 4.66 m. Currently on a clean card. Can she clear a PB? Not a very close attempt. Maybe again just a sighter. This is 6 centimetres higher than she's ever been before. Looked like the connection at takeoff wasn't quite there. Maybe she ran herself in a little bit close, got a little bit carried away on the runway, but no, didn't get on top of that bend. Not a great attempt from the New Zealand athlete. As she debriefs there with the coach, getting some feedback. He can see what's gone on. As we join Renaud Lavillenie, the crowd are really getting behind these two French athletes. They want to see these two French athletes at that World Champs, at that World Indoors, at that European Indoor Champs. They want to be supporting these French athletes. Renaud needs to get himself a ticket stamped on that plane. He knows how important this is. He needs to save that speed for his final steps in the run. He needs to build the speed so his fastest steps are at the back of the runway. He needs as much energy and speed and power going into that pole at takeoff to get him over this bar. Can Renaud clear 5.85? Better attempt, slightly better attempt. Still a little bit hesitant at the bottom. He doesn't quite believe it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's changed up onto a bigger pole and there's that little bit of anxiety and hesitation at the bottom of that jump. He's like, am I safe? Am I not safe? Renaud, you're safe. Absolutely swing off the ground and you'll clear this bar. You can just see when he inverts his hips upside down, there's a slight hesitation in that tuck. This is a high bar for these two French guys. We're getting close to their limit for what is achievable on these days on this pole. But I think both of them we could see both of them pop over this bar on this third attempt. Roberta Bruni for her first attempt at 4.66 m. This would be a big season's best for her. This would be within 7 centimetres of her lifetime best. We're getting close to this girl's PB, but I think she knows she can do it. Potentially changed up a pole. Nice commitment, very nice jump, very nice. She'll have got confidence from that. That was a very nice run, very nice takeoff, very close attempt. You can tell there, she builds speed nice, she takes the speed into takeoff. Such a nice bend on Roberta Bruni's pole. Yeah, just needs to adjust those sands, or take a little bit more energy into that takeoff as we join Baptiste Thierry for his third and final attempt at a lifetime best. He needs to clear this. Can he qualify himself for all of the majors this year? Can he do it? No. Ends the day with a 580 clearance, a massive personal best. Such a big barrier for a man to jump 580. You start to get up there with the best in the world once you start jumping over 580, and that for him today is a massive jump, a massive step up. It says to the pole vault guys, I'm here, I'm not a combined eventer anymore, I am a pole vaulter. He's only within 5 centimetres now of those qualification marks, and it'll get him good ranking points nonetheless. So we're down to 3 men in the pole vault. We have Renaud Lavillenie with 1 more attempt at 585. Then it's over to Christopher Nielsen and Emmanuel Corrales. MJ Bonin with her first attempt at 66. She has cleared this bar last week at Rouen. She's capable. Can she be the first woman to clear 4 meters and 66? Can she stay on that? Oh, run through. Something fell off, something didn't feel right, and that's why she ran through. Safety mechanism in the brain. Something that pole vaulters have in their brain that just says, nope, that's not for me. Too dangerous, something's off, something's not right. I don't necessarily know exactly what it is, but I'm not putting myself in a position where it's going to be dangerous. Sometimes as a spectator it can be frustrating to see an athlete bail or run through, but the athlete's priority is safety and keeping themselves safe. There's been so many accidents across the years in the pole vault. Chris Nielsen, we have maybe Renaud Lavillenie has opted to pass his last attempt at 585, because we will not see Renaud attempting 585, potentially taking his last attempt at 590. So here we go, Christopher Nielsen on a clean card, cleared every single one of his bars, first time. Can he do the same with 590? This would be a season's best for Chris Nielsen. Just tickles it off. Very good run up, very good takeoff. Looks very similar to everything else we've seen today. He just slightly tickles it off as he goes over. But to me, that looked like a very good clearance attempt. Such a powerful athlete, such long lopey strides on the runway, developing so much speed and energy. It just tickles it off on the way over. Let's see, yeah, just bashes it off on the way up. Potentially a little adjustment in the stands. Potentially a little adjustment on the grip. Get that pole reacting in a slightly different way. That gives him a couple more centimetres, because that's all it needs for Chris to get over that bar. It is a little bit of a tweak. Angelica Moser now. She'll be the final athlete in this first round to attempt 466. This would be a season's best for her. She is currently cleared 465 this indoor season. She had a very, very easy clearance at the previous bar, so this shouldn't stress her, I wouldn't have thought. Angelica Moser, first attempt, 466. Very, very easy. Super easy clearance. That's a season's best for her, and so much daylight over that bar. Very nice clearance from Angelica Moser, the 4th place finisher in Paris, 5th place finisher at the World Championships previous to Paris, just outside the medals on a global level. Very nice clearance, 4.66 for Angelica Moser. Very easy. Next up on the men's pole vault runway will be Finalist of Greece, the Paris bronze medalist at the Olympics last year. Clean card so far. Can he clear a season's best of 590s? Currently the world leader with that clearance of 585 in Rouen last week. He'll want to clear this. Quite capable of clearing this. Can he be the first man over 590 in this competition and take the outright lead? Speed on the runway, nice and powerful. Tall at takeoff, very close. Similar to Chris Nielsen, very close attempt. Just brushes it off. Will we see Renaud Lavillenie take his last attempt at this 590 bar? Already incredibly happy with his 580 season opener. Very close attempt from Corrales. Similar to Chris, just a little bit of fine tuning, maybe a little bit of stance movement, a little bit of grip. Both of them very close as we join the women's pole vault for Imogen's second attempt at 4.66. Looks like she stuttered into the takeoff, but a close attempt at 66. This would be an outright PB for Imogen. PB currently sitting at 4.60. That was a much better attempt than that first one. Nice run. Quite a clean and crisp takeoff, so much better. Loads the pole and just brushes it off on the way down. Yeah, she's coming up a little bit short, so she's crashing down on that bar. Needs a little bit of a stand adjustment. Or she needs to add a little bit more intensity in that runway, maybe discussing that with her coach there as to which one she wants to do. And I can see that Renaud Lavillenie will not take his attempt at 590. He's opted to put his trainers on and take a rest. Currently doing an interview. We saw how happy he was to have cleared that 580 clearance. He jumped around, he ran around, he was incredibly pumped. Probably more than what he thought he was capable of on this day at this early time in the season. He's opting to potentially be sensible, and enough's enough for the day. I've already had a massive win. I've already cleared 580. I'm happy with my work. I'm going to bow out and come back on another day and give it another go. It takes a lot for a competitive athlete to do that. Take the sensible route, take the sensible decision. Especially someone like Renaud who loves pole vaulting so much. Chris patiently waits for his second attempt at 590. He needs to stay patient, stay calm. It can be incredibly frustrating as an athlete to break the flow, to break the momentum, but he needs to stay in the zone.
On se souvient que lorsque tu avais fait le record du monde, tu avais donné des signes à nos sénateurs avant, et en particulier en Normandie. La Normandie te va très bien.
It's been an incredibly strong men's competition. this evening. To have two guys attempting 590 is incredible. These kind of heights, the 590s, are the heights you will see medals won at the Olympics, at major championships. So these two guys really are jumping world-class heights here. Chris is waiting patiently for his attempt at 590. He understands that Renault is a living legend, a superstar, a really big idol to look up to, but Roberta Bruni snuck in there before Chris for her second attempt at 66. We did see an incredible first attempt at 66. Can she pop over 66 for a season's best? Roberta Bruni, second attempt at 4m66 to take second. Very, very close attempt. She knows how close that is. She can feel it. She knows what she needs to do. She's frustrated with what she did wrong because she knows this bar she is more than capable of doing and clearing. Very nice jump. This is some of the best jumping I've seen from Roberta Bruni, especially in this competition. Just getting the stands in the right place. As we pan back over to Chris Nielsen for his second attempt at this 590 bar. Can Chris Nielsen jump 590 today in France in this Le Perse meet? Another incredibly close. We're talking fine margins here. Barely anything is knocking that bar off. Such a close attempt for Chris Nielsen. Can MJ Bonin join Angelica Moser over for... No, another run through, unfortunately, for Bonin. We don't know really what's going on. Has she changed up the pole? Is she anxious about clearing this? This is her season's best. She looks like she's grimacing. Is Bonin okay?
Vous connaissez cette musique là? On vous laisse, allez, on vous laisse décrire la maison, on vous laisse.
Hear the music of Perales in the background. Can he be the first man over 5 meters 90? Can Perales clear this 590 bar? So close. Ooh, an even closer attempt on that second attempt. The first one was good, but the second one was so much better. Just a whisker.
du défi. Est-ce qu'il est plus proche? On va dire Chris que peut-être.
Brilliant attempt for Emmanuel Corrales. You can just see how fine a margin this for is. He just brushes it off. Oh, it's hard to see what even touches the bar. Here we go, we're into the final attempt for the women. Can Imogen Aries clear this 466 bar? This will be a PB. So close on that second attempt. Can Imogen clear 66? Come on, Imogen. No! And she clears it! She gives it a good old rattle, but she clears a PB. 4 meters 66. What a brilliant clearance from Imogen. At 6 centimeters onto her PB, really coming into form. Her PB of 460 was in that Paris Olympic final. Now she clears 466. Gives it a good rattle, but that's not what matters. Only just tickles it on the way over, and a new lifetime best for Imogen. Oh, that stayed on by the skin of its teeth, but when the bar stays up, the bar stays up, and that is a new lifetime best for the New Zealand athlete, Imogen Aries. She'll be hoping to qualify for the World Indoors and the World Outdoors. The World Outdoor qualification mark is 473, the indoor 475. However, you can be ranked in those events, and that 466 clearance will give her good points towards qualifying for those. This is Chris Nielsen's last attempt at 590 before he exits the competition. We've had 2 very, very solid attempts from him and Corrales, who will be the first man to go over this bar of 590. The crowd are getting behind him. This is his last attempt at 590. He's had such close attempts so far. Can he figure it out and clear 590 for a new world lead? Yes, he can! What a clearance! What a clearance! Wow! New world lead. Brilliant clearance. And it wasn't even a tickler, it had some great air in it. He just figured it out in the right time for a clutch make of 590 world lead. That puts the pressure on Corrales, but his second attempt was closer than Chris Nielsen's. Can Emmanuel Corrales join him over this 590 bar? We will certainly have a competition on our hands if he can. Great run and take off from Chris. He squeezes absolutely everything out of that pole and glides over. Beautiful jumping from Chris Nielsen. That'll certainly put him up in the rankings and the medals for all these championships coming up this year. As we join the women. You can hear Roberta and Rudy's music going in the background. Her third and final attempt at 4 meters 66. We've seen 2 women go over this bar. Can she be the third? 2 great attempts. Can she do a Chris Nielsen and pop over on her third? Come on, Roberta Bruni. Can you clear this bar? Oh, very, very good clearance. Very, very good attempt. Still look back at those videos. That, as the bar got up to 466, we saw some of Roberta Bruni's best work. able to attempt this 66 and the bar will then go up. There he is, Emmanuel Corrales on the runway. Can he join Chris Nielsen over that 590 bar? This would be an equal world lead. He's already cleared 4.585 this year. Can he clear 590 on his third attempt? So he's a close attempt on that second attempt. Come on, Corrales. He can do it. Yes, he can! 2 men over 590. What a competition we have. 2 men over 590. Equal world lead. Brilliant competition. What will the next bar be? Will it go to 595 or will these 2 men pass and go to 6 meters? What will we see? I feel like we're going to see these 2 men attempting 6 meters tonight. 595 doesn't really mean anything for them. They'll both want to clear 6 meters indoors, but what a clearance from Corrales. He stepped up, he saw Chris Nielsen go over, he had to deliver the jump, and he did. Here we go, MD Bonin with some 2 run-throughs, but this height, can she put together a jump and join the other 2 over 4 meters 66? This is her season's best. She cleared this last week. She knows she can do it, but can she do it today? Another run through from Bonin. She is out of the competition, finishing 3rd with 4.56. So we have 2 women left. We have 2 men left. Let's see where these bars are going next.
Nous, qu'est-ce qu'on aimerait voir? Qu'est-ce qu'on aimerait voir sur le tableau? Depuis tout à l'heure, il y a un 5. 5.
Not to be today for MD Bonin. I wonder whether she's trying a new pole. It's unusual to see an athlete run through 3 times in a row, but something has changed for her, something is different. She'll go away and she'll figure it out. So we are going to 471 in the women's competition, as we see Imogen Aries attempting 471, and in the men's competition definitely heard 6 meters and strength. It's either 601 or 6 meters. Imogen has already got a PB this evening of 466. Can she add 5 more centimeters and become a 470 jumper? Now there's only 2 women and 2 men left. They will be having a couple more minutes in between each jump, just so they get the necessary recovery. The men's bar will be going to 601, and we will have 2 men attempting 601. will be another lifetime best for Imogen if she clears this. The 470 barrier is very much similar to the 580 barrier for men. Once you start jumping 470, you truly become world class. Can Imogen join the 4m70 club tonight? She did give that 466 a good rattle. She will need to find some more space around that bar from somewhere. Officials ratifying it, making sure the bar is level. There's nothing worse than an athlete attempting a bar and it's the wrong height and you have to attempt it again. So it's important to make sure the bar is exactly the height what the athlete thinks it is. Crowd truly seeing some world-class pole vaulting this evening. We have Imogen and Angelica left in the women's competition and Chris and Emmanuel left in the men's. How high can these athletes go this evening? Like the officials are ready, Imogen's ready, she's keen and raring to go. And Imogen Aries clear 471. Here is their first attempt. I don't know whether she's changed up a pole or not. I think she'll have needed to do something different to try and get a little bit more height, but that was a little bit of a tester one for her. Just to take off, make sure she's safe. She'll have 2 more further attempts at this bar. She's already incredibly happy. She's cleared a PB. Angelica Moser will be attempting this.
Écoutez, messieurs, là, c'est pas seulement la bagarre, mais c'est sûr d'approcher les meilleures performances réalisées.
Join the men's competition now where the bar is at 601. This is incredibly world class. 6-meter jump is incredible. And we're about to see 2 men attempting the bar at 601. What can Chris Nielsen do here? Very good attempt at clearance of 590. Can he clear 601 for another world lead? Yes, he can! He caught it first time! Wow! Wow! What a clearance for Chris Nielsen. World lead 601. Wow! He didn't expect that himself, I don't think. Chris Nielsen is back at his best with a world lead of 601. First time, what a clearance. Wow. It's not very often a crowd gets to see a 6-meter clearance. You can see all the boys there congratulating him. 6 meters is massive. Chris Nielsen back at his best with a clearance. First time, 601. Wow. Wow. Had to watch his compatriot Sam Kendricks win an Olympic medal at Paris last year while he didn't qualify, but boom, back with a bang, 601. Amazing. What a clearance, didn't even touch the bar. What a fantastic performance. Angelica Moser here for first attempt at 471. This will be another season's best for her.
Et maintenant 6m01 à Caen en France. Le plus français des Américains s'appelle Chris Nielsen.
We will see Corrales with 3 attempts at 601. Can he join Chris Nielsen over that bar?
On sera peut-être au Leslie. Elle est est amenée à franchir cette barre qui se présente face à elle pour la première fois ce soir. 4,71 m. Elle a déjà amélioré sa meilleure marque de la saison. Elle est suisse. L'ambiance et la musique va monter à l'écran. Angelica Moser, que vous pouvez accompagner dès maintenant.
71. Can she go over first time? Keep the lead of the competition. We went over 466 Can she do the same? We have a run through from Angelica Moser. Something fell off for her.
Angelica Moser qui aura le droit à 2 autres tentatives. Et ce sera la seule à se présenter maintenant en 4,71 m puisque la néo-zélandaise a décidé d'arrêter son concours après cette première tentative à 4,71 m. On peut l'applaudir. Record personnel devant nous ici au Palais des Sports dans la mer. Imogen Harris, congratulations.
Il n'était pas obligé de se décider pour prendre la médaille de bronze aux Jeux Olympiques. À la foulée, il a fait 6 mètres. Nouveau record de Grèce et une des meilleures performances mondiales de tous les temps. Aujourd'hui, pour l'emporter sur cette première accord,
he had a brilliant record so far, brilliant clearance at 590, has cleared 6 meters last year. This would be a PB and Greek record. Can he use the inspiration of Chris Wilson clearing that world lead to get himself over this bar? He's quite a competitive athlete. Can he clear 601? Good attempt, very good attempt.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree. Not so far. On est d'accord avec toi. Pas si loin. Et on n'est pas touché, là. Oh là là. Oh là là. Même un scolaire fatigué.
What does he need to do? Can he swing faster? Does he need to go up a pole? Very close attempt. Lands deep in the bed. If he's got another pole, he'll afford to take it.
Dans ce palais des sports pour le Perch'Xtrem des chez toi,
coach a little bit more grip, take a tiny little bit back on the runway, a little bit more grip. 2 more attempts left at 601 for Emmanuel Corrales, the Olympic bronze
En
medalist.
deuxième position, celui qui a réalisé 90 juste avant, celui qui avait remporté Rouen, Emmanuel Corrales, à qui il reste encore 2 essais. Et côté féminin, face à une barre placée à 4,71 m, une concurrente, une double championne d'Europe.
We have 2 women attempting 471. Imogen Harris and Angelica Moser. It looks like Imogen has retired from the competition and it will be Angelica Moser again. Imogen Harris has had such a good day at the office. Season's best and then a PB. Can't ask for much more than that. And Angelica Moser clear 471. Yes, she can. We saw that run through in that first attempt, but no, she goes sailing clear on that second attempt to 71 for a season's best. She looks shocked with that.
Deuxième meilleure performance mondiale de l'année pour Angelica Moser. On peut l'applaudir tout public, compétition absolument extraordinaire ce soir.
Brilliant and beautiful clearance from Angelica Moser. What will she go next? She has the competition wood. She has the competition all to herself. She can put the bar whatever height she wants. What will Angelica Moser choose to do? Sensible decision from Imogen to retire from the competition. Similar to what we saw with Renault earlier. You know when your limit's there. She knows, I've already got a PB, I'm not going to chance my luck. I'm in brilliant shape. Pack the holes away, go home, rest and recover. See what the day brings. the athletes now. Corrales is jumping on his own back-to-back jumps, same with Angelica Moser. They will have 5 minutes. A bit of downtime, a bit of interaction with the mascot from the crowd to time fill.
Et puis on parlait tout à l'heure des organisateurs qui cette fois-ci peuvent dire Paris facilement gagné à 99%.
Angelica Moser.
Mais en tout cas,
the next height is 476. Looks like she will be taking that bar as the next one. No, she's put the bar to 481. She's passed 476 and the bar will go to 481. That will be a world lead in the women's pole vault if she was to clear that. Can we see 2 world leads in this competition? What a fabulous competition it has been.
Il y a un premier cornet chez les garçons, il s'appelle Finalist. Et puis il y a un second cornet qui voudrait bien améliorer le record de Grèce. Il est en préparation, même s'il est allé, féliciter Chris tout à l'heure, ça lui a donné de l'énergie. Il y a de l'agressivité, de la bonne agressivité. Et puis comme il y a aussi de bons spectateurs, et un bon encouragement.
Here we go, Emmanuel Corrales, second attempt at 6:01. Really nice first attempt from him. Can we see a clearance of him joining Chris Nilsson over 6:01? This will be a lifetime best, a Greek record, the highest Emmanuel Corrales has ever jumped. Come on, Corrales, can you clear the bar and join Chris Nilsson? No. Bit of a hesitation off the ground for me. Didn't quite believe it. There's such fine margins at the top. This is so close to Corrales' limit. He's never put his body over this bar before. He has to be perfect. And he's just a little bit hesitant at the bottom. He says, I've given it all I've got. He will have one more attempt at this bar.
Avec celle qui a demandé, parce qu'elle est seule en licence pour assurer la victoire, elle peut donc demander la hauteur qu'elle souhaite franchir. Elle a choisi 4,81 m et nous on a décidé, on a choisi de l'encourager. Angelica Moser.
Et elle a droit à 6 minutes.
Only fine margins, little tweaks to do. But when you're attempting a PB and a Greek record and a world lead, you can't afford to make any mistakes, and that's where Chris Nilsson absolutely nailed that first attempt. 0 mistakes made. Angelica Moser will be attempting 481 for a new world lead on the women's side. She is the only girl left in the competition, the winner of this female competition. Can she extend her season's best and gain that world lead? First attempt for Angelica Moser at the new bar height world lead of 4,81 m. What can Angelica Moser do here? Good attempt, a little bit of a sighter, potentially a little bit disconnected in the jump. Looked like she was potentially a little bit far away. I don't know whether she just went a little bit too fast off the back and then got herself a little bit too far away, but looked like she got a bit caught in that swing and just rattles the bar off.
Alors question, pourquoi y a-t-il 3 minutes chez les messieurs alors qu'il y a 6 minutes chez les dames? C'est parce que le jury est gagnant. Non, c'est pas ça.
Emmanuel Corrales' third attempt at 6:01 coming up.
Record de la compétition. Donc, lorsque c'est pas un record de compétition qui est seul, c'est 5 minutes. Si c'est le record de compétition, c'est 6. Et en ce qui
Can he join Chris over this bar?
il a ce qu'on appelle des essais consécutifs. C'est lui qui est appelé à chaque fois, puisque Chris lui a fait la bonne surprise d'être lui passé. Donc comme il est appelé consécutivement, il a droit à 3 minutes. Et puis si vous voulez savoir encore plus,
Angelica Moser will have 2 further attempts at the world leader for 81. Still very much early in the indoor season. The indoor circuit is absolutely jam-packed with competitions through February. Pretty much a competition every few days. So the world leads will be changing and chopping hands, but that 6:01 from Chris Nielsen is very impressive. Mondo Duplantis is yet to open up his indoor campaign.
alors on va appeler Emmanuel pour son 3e essai, mais il dispose
Crowd really having a show put on for them today, with 2 world-class athletes winning these 2 fields. Angelica Moser, 4th in Paris last year. Chris Nielsen, double world medalist and Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo 2021. Obviously these pole vault competitions are quite special. You don't have to break for a track race start. You can just play music. It kind of feels like a carnival atmosphere. Really good atmosphere for the crowd, and of course a really good atmosphere for the athletes. Chris Nielsen keeping on top of his cards while he waits patiently for Corrales to take his last attempt, which is coming up now. Will Chris Nielsen decide to go higher, or will he leave?
Allez, on va recaler tout ça parce qu'il est en pleine concentration. Il a encore largement le temps de s'élancer. On va faire sans la musique et ensuite on enchaîne avec la musique. Vous vous souvenez du rythme? Allez, ensemble.
We will be seeing Emmanuel Corrales attempt 6:01 first. 3rd attempt. Can Emmanuel Corrales join Chris Nielsen over 6:01 for an equal world lead? A Greek record, a PB. Can Emmanuel Corrales clear this bar? No, not today. Again, a little bit of hesitation off the floor. Don't know whether that's a bit of tiredness, a bit of, I'm not sure whether I'm capable of clearing this today, but what a day for Emmanuel Corrales. Season's best, 590. Beaten by someone who cleared a 6-meter bar, which is very rare to see in a season outside of Mondo. He thanks the crowd. He's had a great day, great start to the season. 585 last week, 590 this week, slowly getting better and better. Next we'll see Angelica Moser on the runway for her 2nd attempt at 481. I think I just heard in broken French that Chris Nielsen will be attempting the American record and he will put the bar to 6:10. Renault Ability there having a great competition, clearing 580 for a season's best. Angelica Moser for her 2nd attempt here at 481. This would be a big season's best and world lead for the female pole vault. Can she clear this bar? 481 is truly world class. Very good attempt. That first attempt wasn't really that close, but that one was. That was a very good attempt. Anytime an athlete jumps over 480 is very impressive. She will have one final attempt. 481. Angelica Moser already qualified for the European Indoors, already qualified for the World Indoors, and already qualified for the World Outdoors. She doesn't need to worry about qualification. She's done that. She just needs to worry about getting herself to those competitions injury-free in the best possible place. She has the luxury of being able to taper for those major championships rather than taper to qualify and then have to do another peak. Chris Nielsen has set the bar to 6 meters and 10. What can he do today? And we will see Angelica Moser with her final attempt at 481. Saw her then changing her stance to 70 with the officials. Very close attempt for Angelica. Chris Nielsen is back on the runway. He is the winner of the competition. He is the world leader with 601. But can he go higher? Can he set the American record of 610? No one other than Mondo in the recent years has cleared over 610.
Eh bien, ce record est en danger, puisqu'en bout de piste, on va retrouver dans quelques instants Chris qui va prendre
Like he picked up the wrong pole maybe there. Oops. Easily done, they all look the same.
Alors ça c'est excellent. Alors c'est quand même excellent, mesdames et messieurs. On a quand même le meilleur perchiste au monde qui a failli se tromper de perche. C'est quand même assez extraordinaire ça. C'est des pistes comme quoi ça reste des bons enfants.
What can Chris Nielsen do tonight? He's already exceeded many people's expectations, probably including his own with that world lead of 601. Can he have some good attempts or even clear an American indoor record? He's put the bar to 6 meters and 10. This is massive. What can Chris Nielsen do? He's looked like he's been on form from the off. Opening at 5:35, now at 6:10. No. I don't know whether he's changed up a pole or what, but he knew he'd missed it. He knew he'd missed the time and he knew he'd missed the takeoff. This is a big bar and he'll know it. Everything needs to be perfect for Chris to go over this. But that first attempt, something fell off to him, so he did aborted and bailed. Just having a little debrief with a standing coach. His coach hasn't travelled with him overseas. Getting a little bit of video feedback to see what he thought went wrong, what can go better. Angelica Moser for her third attempt at 481. Such a close attempt on that second one. Can she wiggle over a world lead and season's best of 481? Can Angelica Moser do it? Not tonight. Another brilliant attempt, so close. Those last two attempts should fill her with positivity. She's had a great day at the office. Season's best. Cleared that 470 barrier. She does not need to peak for another 4, 5, 6 weeks if she chooses to do the European Indoors and then the World Indoors at the end of March. She needs to peak there if she's going to be hoping to win medals. So this is just a nice little stepping stone on her journey to those major champs. And what a stepping stone it is.
Tonight we finish on the second place. You finished first in the world. What a fantastic fight. An amazing match.
I think we can hear the interview now from Perch'Xtrem in the background.
Everyone today was amazing. You know, it's our first time to Caen. We had an amazing battle. First time being here and then it's either championship record. It's amazing. Congrats to everyone. It's amazing. And for sure, you're gonna see us next year. Thank you, everyone.
Emmanuel Perch'Xtrem thanking the crowd, saying how amazing it was to compete here today. He loves these La Perche beats, winning in Rouen last week with 5.85 and now second here with 5.90. Quite the showman, quite the athlete, really, really lovely person. Deserves every success that comes his way. Brilliant day for him. He'll be happy with his 5.90 and some really good attempts at 6 metres. Only Chris Nielsen left in this competition. 2 more attempts at 6 metres 10.
Et c'est vrai que c'est dans ce standard à très haut niveau comme ça qu'on a de cesse de progresser alors que
Chris Nielsen has currently took 10 jumps, clearing 35 first time, 50 first time, 60 first time, 70 first time, 80 first time, 90 third time and 601 first time. So he is deep into his competition right now. Will that be a stumbling block for him at 6 metres 10, having took so many jumps? Angelica Moser on our screen getting interviewed, the winner of the women's competition with a height of 471. 3 failures at that world leading height of 481. Very close to attempts. We're just waiting for Chris Nielsen's second attempt at 6:10. He will have 6 minutes recovery. He will have that additional minute because this is a record. Looks like Chris is getting ready to go. There are your results for tonight's pole vault women. Winning from Switzerland was Angelica Moser with 471. Second, Imogen Aries, a massive PB of 466. And third, MG Bonin with 456. That amazing PB of Louise Boulon down in 6 of 436 was another highlight. As you can see there, 2 PBs, 3 seasons best. Brilliant competition from the women today here at Perch'Xtrem. You can see there in the background Chris Nielsen getting ready for his second attempt at 6 metres 10. As we see Boulant here with her PB of 436. Amazing, she's incredibly happy. Massive PB for her. What can Chris Nielsen do here? We saw a bail for the first attempt. Can he put up a good attempt on this second at 6 metres 10? American record, PB, world lead. Come on, Chris. The crowd is getting behind him. What can he do? Good, strong run. Can he clear? Throws a jump. Good attempt. Better than his first. But this bar is now really high in the air. He's never been this high before. He needs to be tight. He needs to have everything on point. It's nice for him to get a sight. So like we said, he's never been this high up in the air before. It requires a different amount of patience to keep rising to get over that bar. Good attempt. Good attempt. Just needs to stay away from the bar a little bit more. You just see him there bashing into it with his shins. Just needs to rise a little bit more. Looking at the videos, getting eyes on as to what he thinks he needs to do. Sometimes what you see and what you feel is very different. So let's see what he decides to do for his third and last attempt at 6'10". Nice sometimes to just have a person to bounce ideas off as a sounding board. Chatting there with Scott Simpson, Molly Caudry, coach. Imogen Aries is coach. Chris Nielsen hasn't had the luxury of travelling with his coach, so got in the help from elsewhere. A lot of athletes on the circuit swap and change coaches when they're on the circuit. It's quite expensive for a coach to fly out, and not a lot of athletes can afford it, and it's very nice in that way that athletes tend to share coaches and there's no ego. Chris Nielsen will have 6 minutes now before he has to go again at 6 meters 10. The clock hasn't started running yet. He has got the competition won, but can he go higher? When I looked at the start list for this competition, particularly the men's, I knew it was going to be special, but I didn't know it was going to be 6 meters special. Crowd being entertained with the Mexican wave while Chris Nielsen takes his time to recover ahead of his third and final attempt. Nielsen there doing a bit of manual therapy to keep his body activated and loose. He will of course be aiming for that World Indoors in Nanjing in China in the middle to back end of March, still 6-7 weeks away. And then of course that World Outdoors back in Tokyo where he won that silver medal back in 2021. That will be a special stadium for him, his first Olympic medal. Now has been competing for almost 3 hours, not included his warm-up. He's been out there for the best part of 4.5 hours, and now is the moment that matters. Can he clear an American record, a PB and a world lead of 6:10? Can he go higher than he has ever gone before? Gone higher than any other American has gone before. After a bit of a shaky first attempt, that second attempt was solid. Can he go even better? Can he go even higher? See a replay here of Emmanuel Corrales and his 590 clearance, and what a beautiful clearance it was. So much speed and power and energy. beautiful clearance. Just a little tickle around the bar, but what a clearance from Emmanuel Corrales to take second place here with 590. Brilliant crowd here tonight. They've really got behind the athletes, done a clap when the athletes asked for it. The French crowd really get behind pole vault. They really enjoy it. They're very astute and understand what these athletes need as Chris Nielsen takes to the runway for his third and final attempt of 6:10. PB American record. The highest an American has ever jumped before is what Chris Nielsen here is attempting. Only Mondo Duplantis over the last 5-6 years has gone over 6:10. This is a massive bar for Chris. What can he do here? He's already cleared 1 6-meter bar today, currently winning with 6:01, but can he further it? Come on, Chris. Asking for that crowd. It's been a long evening for Chris. He's been competing for 3 hours. He was the first man in the competition. First man in, last one out. If that's not a lesson for pole vaulters, I don't know what is. Off Chris goes. Third and final attempt at an American record. What can Chris Nielsen do? Oh, very good attempt. That will give him confidence. What a competition for Chris Nielsen, and what a start to the year. Absolutely magnificent jumping. Brilliant last attempt at 6:01, 6:10. The fact that he has been competing for 3 hours and he opened up at that opening bar of 5:35 is magnificent. Love to see that Chris Nielsen is thanking the officials there. They appreciate the time and effort these volunteer officials have put in. But what a last attempt for Chris Nielsen. And what a day this man has had. And that concludes both the men and women pole vault competitions here today at Perch'Xtrem, and what a day it's been. Angelica Moser with the win with 471, attempting that 481 bar, and what a battle we've seen today from Chris Nielsen and Corrales. Chris Nielsen winning with 6:01, Emmanuel Corrales second with 590s, and then 2 Frenchmen over PBs and seasons best of 580. Thanking his coach that has stepped in for the day, and we're going to hear from Chris Nielsen now, the winner, 6:01 world lead.
But you jumped 3 times over 6 meters, 1 time in France, 2nd time in France, and today in France, 6:01. You speak not so bad French. You could be a French citizen. Tu parles un peu français, même pas mal. Tu as sauté 3 fois très haut au-dessus de 6 mètres en France. Tu pourrais devenir citoyen français.
Oui, c'est ça. Bonjour à tous, merci pour ton attendance aujourd'hui.
C'est vu?
Nielsen, a man of many talents.
Pour la saison 2022, oui, prochaine semaine à Rouen, le même matin. Et c'est ça, maintenant, c'est nouveau.
You try to use new boards today and a new runway on main step. How do you feel with that? Tu as essayé des nouvelles perches, une nouvelle course d'élan. Comment tu t'es senti comme ça?
Oui, c'est une alliée pour moi, parce que les courbes est nouveau pour moi.
Here we see a replay of Christopher Nielsen's 6:01 clearance. Doesn't touch that bar, beautiful clearance. Really impressed that Chris Nielsen can also hold his own in a French interview.
J'ai entendu avec ses nouvelles foulées, c'est mieux pour lui. Et puis il dit, je crois que c'est bien pour moi. Effectivement, on l'a vu. Next competition, pourquoi?
Am I going to Togo? Oui, j'ai fait Roubaix maintenant.
Ouais, non, very close. Roubaix, exact.
Roubaix, yeah.
Eh bien, on te retrouvera avec grand plaisir sur la caravane, sur le circuit Perch'Xtrem. Un garçon admirable. On ne va pas le faire devenir français. Il est citoyen américain, mais il représente ce qu'on fait de mieux dans le monde du sport et du sur la perche, Chris Nielsen.
What a show Chris Nielsen has put on for this crowd today. They just said 6 times over 6 metres, 3 times over 6 metres, all 3 in France, and that is the result of the men's pole vault competition. Christopher Nielsen with that world leading mark of 6:01, Corrales in second with 5:90, and then Thierry and Levillini sharing that third position, both with a PB and seasons best of 5:80. What a competition we have had today. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined the European Athletics stream for this pole vault only competition in France, the Perch'Xtrem. What an evening we have had today. I hope you've enjoyed the action. It's been a fantastic show of world-class pole vault, and I will hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
Remarquez pas, mesdames et messieurs, dans exactement 28 secondes, on dit 27 secondes et 32 centièmes, nous allons procéder à la remise des récompenses et honorer comme il se doit les champions qui nous ont fait vibrer.